I can hear you guys. I'm doing a bunch of shit for the IG page, so I'm just like screen recording videos and shit.
Welcome back to BK Nothing But Nets podcast. Nets dropped their home opener. It was really all you can ask for as a Nets fan. They played one of the better teams in the East, battled hard, came back, made it competitive, made it interesting before falling short. We're going to get into all that. I'm joined with my partner in crime as always, Dylan over at Nets Press. And special guest today, my man, Pete over at Nets Fans You Know. Check out Pete's new video. Oh, Pete, you tell me about it. What do you got going on? What do you got on your channel?
I got lucky enough to interview Tim Capstraw. I think most Nets fans know he's a legend. He's been calling games for over 24 years now for the Nets. I had him on for a good 25 minutes. We broke down the offseason and kind of did like a season preview sort of thing. He doesn't do too many interviews, so I got very, 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 very lucky. And thanks for promoting that, Gary.
Of course. Thank you for jumping on with us. Thank you for taking the time. Pete, let me get your thoughts first on this game. The Nets outscored Cleveland 38-23 in that fourth quarter to make it a game. I think they cut it to one, right? Did they cut it to two? One. They cut
two. I think it was 2 or 3, something like that.
They got it within one possession. I know that. Before obviously falling short, and they're gonna obviously have problems closing out games. But your thoughts on how bad it was defensively for the first 3 quarters, and then getting back into it in the fourth quarter.
You're gonna look at the score, 131, 124, and like you said, it was a lot closer. The Nets actually could have taken the lead a couple times with a couple missed shots, but that doesn't mean that much to me. The Nets, they scored 40 points in the fourth quarter. Cleveland got cold, so that doesn't mean much. You can look at the rookies play a little bit. I don't believe in moral victories and whatnot. Cleveland is actually a contender this year. The Nets are not going to be doing anything, but I don't know, man. It's disappointing. But the one thing I will say, at least they didn't get out rebounded by 20.
Yeah, defensively, especially for the first 3 quarters, it was probably not as bad as the Charlotte game, but defensively, it was still really bad. Is this just what we're going to expect, or do you think things will tighten up? They'll get their scheme together, because defensively this looks like a disaster. And last year, the defense is what kept them in games and won them games early. What are your thoughts on that?
I expect this to be maybe not a disaster every game, but they're going to be outmatched every game for sure. Like the talent here, you have Cam Thomas, probably one of the worst defenders in the NBA, and you have Michael Porter Jr., who doesn't play defense. Claxton is undersized. You have a lot of issues at different positions. Saraf has size, that's good, but he's 19 years old, right? There's just so much sloppy play here. It's going to take them a lot of time to get this together. And man, I don't like this rotation, this starting lineup defensively at all.
Let me get to Dylan. I want to bring Dylan in on this too. Michael Porter, we are both fans of Michael Porter. Defensively, it's been rough. What are your thoughts on, especially yesterday, the game we were at, Charlotte? Defensively, he was getting abused. He's still not good today. What are your thoughts on Michael Porter Jr. defensively and the effort as a team defensively? Yes, game 1 and also today.
Keep doing your thing. This is the goal for this season. I'm glad to watch some entertaining games here and there, but at the end of the day, our goal is to lose this year. So I could absolutely not care less. I liked the offensive performance that I saw out of him today. It was definitely a much better showing than the first game, but ultimately it's kind of similar with, a player like Mikal Bridges. When he got here, he was known for his defense. He got here and his defense sucked because he was primarily getting an offensive load. Michael Porter Jr. has never been known to be a great defender. He's been a solid defender throughout his career, but now he's getting more of an offensive load as well. So you're going to see that defense decline.
I want to ask you, offensively, Michael Porter and Cam Thomas played really well. Porter also got 8 rebounds. So Porter shot the ball extremely efficiently, 31 points, 13 of 22, 5 of 10 from 3. Cam Thomas scored 33 on 12 of 23 shooting, 9 assists, close to a career high. His career high is 10. If they do that, I mean, this is tough because it's one of the better teams in the league. But if they do this consistently, if they shoot the ball consistently like this, Porter and Cam Thomas I'm referring to, are they going to win? Are they going to win some games?
Not at all. No, I mean, you saw it today. You know, you have to have other role players step up and do their thing. Terrence Mann.
Williams.
I was going to say, yeah, Terrence
Williams. Yeah.
Terrence Mann said, you know, that there was something else in his game that he was going to unlock here. We haven't seen it yet. You know, Zaire Williams had a really good game today, but he didn't in Charlotte. You know, Saraf as your starting point guard, finishing with 2 points on 2 shot attempts, one of which he made, 3 turnovers and 1 assist. That's not going to do it for you. So, and again, you have a starting big man at the age of 26 years old who still can't score more than 15 points a game consistently. You know, there's really not much around them to allow them to win. So they can go off for these 30-point games, but until 2 or 3 other guys are putting up those 15-plus point games, this team's going to continuously lose by 1 to 15 points every night.
I want to get both of your thoughts. P, I'll go with you, but I also want Dylan's thought. Nick Claxton, it was brutal again, offensively for the most part, but he seemed to be playing more assertively. Like, he got a bunch of offensive rebounds, which is usually not a good offensive rebounder, honestly, for a guy at 6'11". What are your thoughts? I know the stat line. Probably, I'm not looking at it.
I was going to say, yeah, 35.7% from the field on 5 of 14 shooting. As a 6'11" big, you can't be doing that shit.
I agree. Yeah, like every other 6'11", and he's not taking threes or anything, right? Like he's everything's at point blank range, and he's shooting. What did you say? 37. I mean, he was more assertive. He wasn't getting pushed around. He was grabbing offensive rebounds, right? How many offensive? You have the stat line up?
He had 5. He had 5 offensive rebounds.
Guys, what are your thoughts on Claxton here? Like, I think there's good and obviously, but ultimately it's bad. But you guys give me your thoughts.
Go ahead, Dylan. You go first.
On what, Claxton?
Yeah.
I mean, I've kind of made my peace with him. He was one of my favorite players for a while, but he's had no progression over the past 3 years. His defense continues to decline, and his offense has never gone anywhere. So, like I've said for the last year and a half now, I love Clax, but he needs to get an opportunity somewhere else. I still think Charlotte is one of the better teams for him. You know, they're in need of a big man. They have a play-in caliber roster at the moment. Go make a deal with them. You get him off the books, let Day'Ron Sharpe start, and go figure out a big man solution in the offseason.
Yeah, he had a good game in Charlotte offensively, but then he only had 4 rebounds. And then tonight he gets 9 rebounds. I think he had like 4 assists, 3 steals, and you're happy about that. But then what happens to the scoring? It's the game needs to come together on both ends, and he hasn't shown that he can do it. And Dylan is right. Dylan is right. He hasn't progressed. Like, what are you going to do?
I did this every day last year. I'm going to do it again because I like to stay consistent. Nick Claxton, 31 minutes. And I know plus minus isn't tell-all, but it does tell a lot. Minus 18. Day'Ron Sharpe, 14 minutes plus 6. I'm not doing it just today. I'm going to do it every game just like I did last year. And I get it. Plus minus takes a lot. Like, who was on the court for them? I get it. But when it's every single night, Dylan, we did this last year. Doesn't it mean something at some point when you're always a negative huge number and your backup is always a plus number? Doesn't that mean something? No.
Keep this in mind, right? Clax is playing against who? The starters. So who's Day'Ron playing against? The bench players, right? Lesser talent.
Michael Porter Jr. played 36 minutes, most minutes on the team against mostly starters, and was -1. I'm just saying, it seems to me, and you guys can argue with me, that's fine. Good things seem to happen when Day'Ron Sharpe is on the court.
It's tough because you're trying to compare 2 different players here, right? We know Day'Ron is a master rebounder, not a great offensive rebounder, really, but we know he's going to be able to snag down that rebound. He can hit a 3 once in a while. I don't think Dylan is a fan of his shooting. I am a fan of his shooting. He definitely should be getting more minutes, but it's tough because the Nets want to have a big that's going to be mobile. And when you think of Day'Ron Sharpe, Dylan, do you think mobile?
I mean, I'd probably give him the same
No.
level of mobility as Claxton, in all honesty.
No
I mean, he's a
way.
tad bit.
Come on,
He's a
come
No
on.
way.
Hold on. Let me explain
Let him go.
myself.
Let him go. Let him go.
He's
Let him go.
certainly slower, but my God, I mean, Claxton will throw his hands up and have a fit all the way at the end of the court and get back late to allow Evan Mobley to score for 6 straight points. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
mobility, though.
Sharp at least puts an effort on rebounds. I don't need mobility in a big man that can run around like a jackass but can't guard the paint. I need a big man that can guard the paint. Day'Ron at 6'9" in his frame is a much better defender in the paint than Claxton is currently. Now, if you were talking about Claxton 3 years ago when he was up for Defensive Player of the Year halfway through the season, then maybe. But he is ass. I love Claxton, truly. This is not criticism or hate. He is dog shit at this point in his career, based on how he has played in Brooklyn the past year and a half, 2 years. Ever since we traded those two, he has been horrible, and it's progressively getting worse and worse.
It was 23-24. I thought was a little bit of a disappointment. 24-25 was a horrible disappointment. Like, it got worse, and it looks to be trending in that same direction. Like, that chart not going up.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I'm saying?
he's undersized, and then you're putting small ball fours next to him, right? So that hurts him on defense. Obviously, when you had KD next to him, what happened? He was up for Defensive Player of the Year. I think you have to have a big man that will be able to help him. And what does that say about Claxton? Yes, that's a problem. Dylan's not wrong there.
I was gonna say the problem is we're saying like when he had KD as if KD is not a twig. You know what I mean? Like, I think that he was just better at the time, and he has already digressed. You see bigs, especially over the past 20 years, where the ability of a big man and the play style of a big man changes about every 5 to 6 years, right? Like, originally you had your Shaqs, then you had, your Tim Duncans, then you had, like, the big man position constantly evolves. Most recently, now you have your Sengun, Sabonis, and Jokic's. Like, now you gotta evolve your game, and Claxton's not evolving into the player that is going to work in a modern NBA setting. He is a strict 10.8 rebound, decent defensive big. And I say decent because he's good on the perimeter, but he's not good down low. He's being funneled out of the league slowly with his play style, unless if he can get put into a system that's going to work for him. And Brooklyn's not it.
Wait, I got Gary. 1 second here. I want to ask Dylan this. Besides a guy like Evan Mobley, right? Who else can, as a center or a big, be like one of those plus defenders on the perimeter to cover a guard? Who comes to mind?
Not many, but at the end of the day, not many. And by all means, that's why I think Claxton's a good perimeter defender. But again, if you're going to be a perimeter defensive big and you can't score the ball and move to the 4, you're useless. You're going to get funneled out of the league because you can't play the 4 offensively. You can't play the 5 defensively. You're useless. Being a big that can guard the perimeter doesn't do much for you when you have Bismack Biyombo's and Musa Diabats or whatever his name is giving you doubles in 20-plus point games. It doesn't help.
That's fair. I do think he needs more help. I think he needs help, like, from a power forward who isn't, extremely small. Go ahead, Gary.
But then find the team where he fits, because he doesn't fit here. And, like, if he got you 10 points a game like Mitchell Robinson got you 10 points a game, or Robert Williams used to get you 10 points a game, where it's 5 out of 6 on all dunks, like, all of his shots are point blank. The decline in field goal percentage doesn't make any sense, right? Because it's not like he's taking more difficult shots. He's not taking a bunch of mid-range shots. He's not shooting threes. All of his shots are point blank range, all of them. And he can't even finish out the hole anymore, on top of having these defensive liabilities where he can't guard bigs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's great that he can guard wings, but who's going to guard the bigs? I remember last year the Nets putting Dorian Finney-Smith on Joker. It's like, Dorian Finney-Smith is 6'7". You know what I'm saying? But, like, at least he wouldn't just get mollywopped and back down by him, because he's at least going to stand his ground. Claxton can't do that. It's like, Dylan, I kind of agree with him. Like, where's his role in the NBA if he can't play the 4 offensively and can't guard 5s defensively?
That's a good question. That's the right? That's kind of always been the problem, right? The whole idea of having Clax would be to have, like, a good defender on the pick and roll. In a couple of years, if you guys remember, the pick and roll was like like hotcakes. Like everybody was doing it. And I think the bigger issue now that Jordy's here, he runs the point series offense. So that you have your center at the elbow, and he's going to either fake the handoff or take it to the hoop, and he has to be a good passer, right? Claxton is not a good passer. He may be able to dribble it up a couple times here and there, and he has better handles than a lot of bigs. But is he the guy you want to be your joker, to be your Sabonis, to run your offense through? No. That's a big problem here.
Is he hurting his trade value every day that he plays, or do teams look at him and still say, okay, he can offer us value defensively like he did for the Nets when they were good? Because when the Nets were good, he was a good player. Even that year that they traded Durant and those guys and they went into the playoffs against Philly, he still was a pretty good defensive player. The team still look at like, okay, if we're good and we have a good defensive system, he can still be a valuable defensive player on our team, or is he just losing value every day he plays? Both of you guys.
Dylan, you go first.
Claxton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's already at the bottom of what his value could be. I still think a team like a Charlotte would give up a first-round pick for him, but you're not going to get any form of, you're not going to get Tajon Saloon in that package, like a really high upside young player. You're going to get Grant Williams in a salary filler, which at this point in time, I would take if it included a first-round pick just to get him off my books. Like, give me Grant Williams and Josh Green plus a first. Have him. But this is at that point where it's just like, he's not going to do it for you. You might as well just move on from him, because not only are you wasting his career, but he's also hit a plateau in Brooklyn where he's not helping you either. So you might as well just break that shit apart.
I don't think he's losing value every day, right? Like, a player doesn't lose value.
You know what I mean? Like that's on a shot. His value is declining. Like he's going down on a sharp decline.
The downward trend. It's possible, right? He's getting older. Every year we're moving away from that defensive player of the year talk. There's a very good point there. His contract is declining. That is a positive. But I think where you would find a Claxton deal is you got to be lucky and have one of these playoff teams, like maybe I'm just making this up, like a Lakers type team that says, oh my God, our center, Ayton is down, and like, who's available?
Yeah.
Like, you got to get lucky.
Well, it's not lucky. I mean, injuries happen every year, right? So yeah, I guess, hold on to him until someone needs a center. Someone needs a big. Their big gets hurt.
And willing to pay.
Right. Yeah, some center is going to, centers get hurt. So some center this year on a good team is going to probably get hurt, like Lively or something, like some guy, give me a center on a competitive team.
I would take 2 seconds for him right now. Like, Dylan mentioned a first rounder. It depending on the contract, obviously, but let's say we get back an expiring contract. I don't even need a first. I would just take seconds. I really would.
I'm so tired of saying. I hear what you're saying. Like I don't disagree with you.
It's frustrating.
Like, I'm just all of these seconds. Like, what are we gonna do with all these seconds?
There's ways to use them. Like, you want to get guys on in the second round because they could be extended longer. They're cheaper, right?
Non-guaranteed.
Yeah, they could be used in like sweeteners, especially teams that are like in cap trouble. Getting a player in the second round and developing them, and if they do become a role player, as maybe it's a long shot of that happening, but if that does happen, you have a young, cheap, controlled player.
Yeah, look,
it's a big if, right?
I'm with you. I just want to get him off the books. I just I feel like his time here is done. He's not really helping the team there. I want to play the younger guys. I don't know what Wolf is. I don't really have much expectation for Wolf, but maybe he's good. Who knows? Claxton was a second round pick. I want to see Sharp more. I want to see other things, and I feel like Dylan's right. We already know what Claxton is. Like, he's not changing his stripes. He's not gonna develop into something else. What is he? He's 27 this year. Is that what he is?
Something like that.
my mind's made up on him. You know, I'm ready to move on. It's nothing personal. It's just you're probably a better fit elsewhere, and we're gonna take what we can get for you.
Like, am I crazy for saying I would take? Is Vucevic still on an expiring contract, or did he get extended by Chicago?
I'll look it up right now.
I'm not sure. Gary, I'm sending you a picture that I want you to show everybody.
Okay.
No, not the Twitter thing, but I just sent you a picture to your phone right now because you're complaining about second rounders.
Give me a second.
You guys are gonna like this in a second.
Give me a minute. I gotta.
What are you looking at? The Vucevic contract? We have dead air here. We gotta talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dead air.
Would you make that trade? Is Vucevic is a salary dump sufficient for you to get rid of?
He's a free agent after this year.
Okay, yeah. Give me Vooch in a first. You can have Claxton. I'll even throw you 4 seconds.
I'll take a second.
No, I'll
first.
Let me give you 3 seconds plus Claxton for Vucevic and a first. Like, get rid of some of these seconds, man. Give me some firsts. I need something here.
Do you think you can get a first for 3 seconds? I don't even think so. I don't think you could.
We have 3 seconds in this upcoming draft. Give them 2 of them. Give them 2 of them in a future second plus Claxton. Give me Vooch in a top 5 protected 2029 first or some shit. I don't care.
Would you make that trade though? If you were Chicago, would you make that deal?
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying, right?
I'm more so saying what I would like, but of course, if it's Vucevic and 3 seconds, then yeah, it probably would get accepted.
Yeah, he's making 21 mil.
And it fits perfectly with the Claxton contract.
It would, and like keep in mind, 20 million really seems like a lot right now. This year, Claxton's contract from memory is taking up 16% of the cap. It might sound like a lot, but starters in the NBA, they get paid this type of percentage of the cap. And as the cap goes up and his contract goes down, it's going to be easier to get off your hands. This is what the Yes Network put this out today. And when Gary was talking about second rounders, I thought this was funny.
The Yes Network put this out?
Yeah, the Yes Network put this out. What do you think, Dylan?
I think that guy on the screen should never have a job as a general manager.
I can't. Yeah, I've had it with. We're talking about Addison. What up, Addison? We're talking about the Nets collecting an uncountable number of second-round picks and what you do with them. And what are your thoughts on having more second-round picks than you can shake a stick at, to use a Texas phrase? I don't know what you do with all those second-round picks at this point. Addison is a Lakers fan. You want Nick Claxton? You guys want Claxton? That was you got a bunch of second round picks from me. Just like, what would you give up for Claxton? What's the value on Nick Claxton at this stage of his career? I wanted to get into something else. I wanted to get Dylan on this first, and then I'll move over to Pete. But Cam Thomas, I thought was really good today. Is he increasing his value? Is Cam Thomas, if he plays like 9 assists, he passed the ball well, he shot the ball efficiently. If he plays like this, what happens? Like, I mean, he's obviously underpaid. He's not coming back. This was my worst nightmare. What does he do if he keeps playing like this? If he keeps putting up 30 and 8 or whatever, 33 and 9, if he's doing that consistently, what do the Nets do? On efficient shooting.
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
He was nowhere to be found in the first half. He looked lazy. He didn't look like he gave a shit. He can keep doing that. People are going to see that. I put it out in the first half on Twitter, and I had people like an hour later being like, what are you talking about? Because people see something and immediately think you posted it at that moment in time. But he looked lazy on offense. He had the 8-second violation. He had a couple of bad turnovers. There was a couple of defensive possessions where he wasn't running back. If he was in the half-court set, he was kind of walking around up by the 3-point line. he can explode and have these good games, but this is what I talk about when I say empty calories, empty stats. He was being blown out by 22, and then he started to go off, which is great. I'm glad that you can flip the switch like that, and I'm also glad you're doing it because I want us to lose this year. But if you're talking about him raising his value off of this, I don't agree. I think his value consistently stays the same, and that's you're getting paid what, 4 to 6 million this year. You're worth a salary filler and a first round pick, and I would take any deal that's offered.
You want me to jump in, Gary?
Yeah. I want to address this. You've been saying Nick Claxton to the Lakers and Zach Wilson was quarterback for because he just makes sense to the Lakers. Like he makes sense with Luka. He makes sense on the Lakers. But
talk about Luka. Yeah. That guy needs some fucking help. He had 23 out of the team's first 36 points in the first quarter today. That guy needs so much help over there.
Yeah, thanks for putting that up, Gary. I'll take it from here.
Yeah.
So I was watching the game, and randomly this possession starts up. You have Ben Surratt at point guard at the other wing. Cam Thomas is on the logo. There's going to be a pick and roll with Clowney setting the pick. But what do you see? 3 Cleveland jerseys. Ben Surratt, we already know can't shoot. The other team obviously knows that. And listen, other teams are going to be physical with us, like really physical. Cam Thomas is going to be coming through hell. I'm amazed he put up 30 points. I'm not going to lie. Like, he was only, I think, 3 of 10 from 3. He wound up having, to bully his way to get these points. He's going to get doubled every game. Michael Porter Jr., I'm not a big fan. I know he had a great game today. I don't like the defensive effort with Michael Porter Jr., but that's another story. But you have to keep both of those guys in the lineup for the spacing because of a Surratt being able to just pretty much just stand wide open and the other team doesn't care. We need more spacing. Cam Thomas is an ISO player playing in an offense he does not fit in. And you see it.
What do you want? Yeah, what is Cam Thomas supposed to do in this situation? That the pass there
pass the ball
to who? To who?
Surratt.
Okay, you can pass that. That's a difficult pass right there. There's
shots.
A lot of white uniforms around there right now.
This is what you do. Gary, I'll cut you off here. This is what you do. He throws it off to Surratt. Surratt cuts, and I think I'm not sure if that's Michael Porter Jr. in the left corner, but whoever it is, that defender who's covering the guy in the corner will have to come in to guard Surratt, and you have a wide open corner 3. That's the play.
Did he already pull up his dribble in this, or did he just catch the ball there?
I forgot, man. I saw that and I had to pause it. I don't think he's pulled up. I don't think he pulled up his dribble yet.
Okay. But they're gonna attack him at 40 feet and make anyone else beat him offensively. Like that's what they're gonna do. And I think defensively that's the right scheme because who's beating you there? Like Surratt? Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's a tough situation. But I'll put the same question: if he's doing this and he's being doubled from, to quote Dwight Howard, from the tip to the end, and he's still scoring efficiently and scoring 25, 30 points a night, what happens with him? What do we do with him? Because he's not coming back here. We already burnt that end. So what do we do? If he's doing this nightly, he's having these kind of nights on a regular basis, what do we do with him? You're going to trade him for nothing? Trade him for, scraps?
Yeah, you take whatever you can get.
This is why it just wasn't worth it to me to bring him back. If you weren't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand the qualifying offers. Just let him go. Because now you're going to go through all of this. He's going to win you games, I think. I know Dylan disagrees with me on that. He's going to win you games when he has 40 ball nights and everything's going in. And for what reason? To get a 2 second round picks for him? It's like,
I would agree with you on the winning aspect if he had role players around him. He's got 3 guys on his team that can actually help him. One of them's himself, the other's MPJ, and the other is Zaire Williams, and they just showed that tonight. They just combined for over 80 points as a trio and lost.
But they played Cleveland. So what happens what happens if they're playing a mid-league team like Charlotte?
Like the Charlotte Hornets?
Yeah, if they would have
who we just got blown out by?
Well, because he didn't shoot the ball well that night.
That's called good defense. You know what I mean? When a team's going to play good defense on you and send a double team and make you pass the ball to Ben Saraf to shoot a three, you're going to lose games. This is a recipe for a loss. The young players are not going to be able to each put up 10 plus points in their rookie campaigns. Cam Thomas isn't going to be able to put 50 and save the world. We're going to lose. This is a good thing. We need to this year. It's the last time to do this. It is one final year of this, and we can finally start cheering for play-ins and actually being kumbaya happy for whatever the future holds. But right now, there's absolutely no clear path whatsoever to victories on top of victories on top of victories. There is going to be a lot of losses before your next victory.
I want to get to that. I think this is a fair question. Pete, any final thoughts here on Cam Thomas and how this was handled so far? I mean, what are your thoughts here?
I said it. You got it. I don't want to ramble on. Go ahead.
I do want to get to the Nets schedule, and I have a real question. I know I got a lot of my Jet fans here in the chat, and it's a real question. I can't believe it's a real question, but it's a real question. When do the Nets get to their first win, and do they get to a win before the New York Jets get to a first win? The schedule's tough. Like for the Nets, they got the Spurs, the Rockets, the Hawks got to win today, the Sixers. Like, when do the Nets get their first win, and do they get a win before the Jets do? So we got the Spurs. Let me put this up. Can you see this? Yeah. We got the Spurs. That's a loss. We have the Rockets. That's a loss. The first winnable game is the Hawks, but that's probably like when do they get a win here? Like, if you're looking at the schedule, Dylan, I'll start with you. When do they get their first win?
Can you go down the list of the next 6 games?
I'm going through. Yeah, let me just run through them. Let me run through them real quick. It's okay. So it's at San Antonio, at Houston, home for Atlanta, home for Philly, home for Minnesota. At Indy. Stop me when you think they win a game. At Indy, home for
Probably
Detroit.
Indy.
At Indy, though. At Indy.
Yeah, it's tough. That's a tough one. Let's see. I'll tell you right now. I mean, as soon as we say this, they're going to go on a 5-game win streak because every single time
this team ain't winning 5 games in a row this year. I'm looking at November 16th.
We'll lose to the Spurs. The Rockets are 0-2. They're going to come out with a vengeance. They actually may bend us over. The Hawks, they got to pick it up at some point because they look horrible in their first 2 games. So I think they're going to kill us.
That game. Yeah.
Philly, I mean, like I said in the last episode, I'm very happy when I can say that I'm wrong about something. VJ Edgecombe's that guy, so he's probably going to butcher us. Minnesota beats us. Indy 50-50. Andrew Nemhard's not having the year that I thought he would. Pistons, they just took down the Rockets today.
They're going to trash us.
They'll kill us.
The Knicks are going to trash us. The Knicks
kill us.
Always do.
The Raptors, what did I tell you guys about the Raptors? They won their first game against the Hawks. They looked competitive against the Bucks. It was a close game. I got the Raptors as the 6th seed in the East this year. I said that earlier, too, in the summer. Magic will beat us. Okay, so our first realistic possibility of winning is November 16th against the Washington Wizards.
That's a long way out. It's October 24th. That is a ways out. What do you? Yeah.
And then we have Boston back-to-back, which, by the way, they are 0-2 to start the season. And what did I tell you guys about this bullshit? If they get into the lottery, we're screwed.
Here's what I'm saying. The end of the back-to-back with Boston, they'll have a win by November 21st, but that's a month away. They got 3 in a row. At Washington, and then a home and home with Boston. They'll get one of those 3, right? I don't know which one, but they're not going to lose all 3 of those. So that's where I think they get their first win. Pete, your guess is Washington. I'll say the home game for Boston, November 18th, they get their first win. Pete, how about you?
I'm going to say the Hawks game.
Optimistic. Okay.
I'm going to just say the Hawks game. But then after that, it's far and few between.
Jesus Christ, dude. Wemby almost put up a triple-double with blocks. He had 9 today. Fuck.
If
Dude,
Wemby plays
he's
65 games, he's the MVP. Yeah.
He's going to be MVP.
If he plays enough games, yeah.
Yeah, this is one of, like, I apologize, too, for going off topic and shit. I'm finally just getting on Twitter and checking all these things out. But, I mean, when you're talking about a generational athlete and talent, and you're starting to actually see the transition into that like next step of stardom, he's taken off. I mean, putting up 40 and 15 on Anthony Davis and then coming out your next game and putting up 29, 11, 9 blocks, shooting 13 of 23 from the field. That's disgusting. Yeah, he's a fucking wizard.
I want to real quick. I'm running out of time. I know you guys can't stay too late. How much longer is Cam Thomas on this team? As soon as they can trade him, will they?
It's not going to come down to as soon as they can. It's got to be if they can work him into accepting a trade. Realistically, he's going to have the opportunity to pick where he goes. I still think the Houston Rockets need him desperately. Amen Thompson really isn't showcasing that he can be a second or third option scorer. He's primarily going to be a defender and playmaker, kind of like a Ben Simmons. To me, Cam Thomas is a perfect fit over in Houston. Go offer Cam Thomas and their swap back to them, and go get Tari Eason and our swap back. Let's make it so that we own our entire future and we decide when we want to go all in.
I like that trade. Here's why I don't know. Houston's got you by the short and curlies. Why are they giving you that pick back? I
Exactly.
get, you know,
Same reason why they gave us our 2 picks back. We gave them Phoenix's picks. We're giving you the scorer that you need because clearly Kevin Durant putting up 37 against the Detroit Pistons wasn't good enough for you to win tonight. You're 0-2. You know what I mean? You have Alperen Sengun, you have Amen Thompson. You have a huge payroll this season to contend. Why not go grab a guy for cheap who has great chemistry with KD, who can be the secondary scorer with a Sengun as your third option scorer and Amen Thompson as your fourth option scorer? Fuck yeah, I would do that if I was them. Why not? You're contending now with 37-year-old Kevin Durant. You don't need the Nets pick.
You're right. The question is, if Houston does this, do they think they get through the West? If the answer is yes, then make the trade. If the answer is no,
well, that's the thing. I don't think Cam Thomas is truly a difference maker. But again, that's my personal opinion. We haven't seen him be given the opportunity to do so. Has he looked good in games down the stretch where he's, elevated us to winning or close to winning? Sure. So can that translate over on a contending team? That's what nobody will know until it happens. He's on a 1-year deal. If it means getting your own pick back and getting off of an expiring contract in Tari Eason for an expiring contract in Cam Thomas and a lesser pick, who cares? Like, to me, that's worth the risk for them because either A, he proves that he can do it, and you can re-sign Cam Thomas over in Houston and have him paired up with KD for the next 2 more years and Sengun and Amen Thompson as their young core, where, Cam Thomas can take over the scoring reins once KD retires, or you let him walk in free agency because you were probably going to let Tari Eason walk in free agency anyway since you didn't pay him this past offseason. So it's literally just flopping Tari Eason for Cam Thomas, which they're in the same position regardless.
But okay, that's a very, very good theory, right? Mm-hmm. First thing, I'm going to break it. I got about two to 3 parts, so I got to rant here just for a minute.
Let's hear it.
First part, his agent is already talking to teams. He's going to pretty much dictate where he's going to go because a lot of teams have more cap space this offseason.
I don't mean to cut you off. Do you actually have like somebody who had told you that Cam Thomas's agent is already talking to teams?
No, but it's everybody does it. It's a known fact. Okay. It's a known fact in the league that agents do this. Like, when the free agency starts, all of a sudden all the deals come through.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
it's
those
like
are done days prior.
Like that. Yeah. I'm not saying like today it happened. They talked.
Gotcha. No, I didn't know if you had spoken to somebody that
no.
said there was a couple of names he was looking into. Okay, no, that makes sense. I mean, to me, if I'm taking a quick look, again, sorry to cut you off, but I think Houston by far makes the most sense. I could see a team like Milwaukee trying to keep Giannis in for the remainder of the season. I think a team, maybe even like Miami, would take a chance on him if they're not willing to pay Tyler Hero and want to flip him for a star to pair with Bam. There's a couple of teams out there that make a decent amount of sense for Thomas. Another one probably being Portland. I mean, if Shaedon Sharpe doesn't pan out for the remainder of the season, you could always try and look to add him in Portland. There's not many teams out there that could utilize him. So to me, I think Houston probably Houston and Milwaukee are the only two teams that I can really see being a true threat to trading for him.
Okay, so Houston is the team, right? KD loves Cam Thomas. That's a
Mhm.
we know that already, right? I think Houston's the team. You're 100% on that. But this is the issue that we have to look at. Because he took a qualifying offer, he has a no trade clause and he loses his bird rights. So very smart. Yes, he's making $6 million. So on that end, it would be easy for them to get him, but they don't have any cap space to re-sign him after. I don't know if they have any exceptions. I'm pretty sure they don't. So this would be a rental. That net asset of the swap, that might be one of the last things that they want to do, that they want to use, because you might want to use it to get a player who you can keep on more of a long-term basis rather than using it on a guy who you may not be able to keep.
Well, the thing is that realistically, I think, let's see, you have Tari Eason, Jayshawn Tate, Jeff Green, Okogie, Aaron Holiday. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 13. It's about $13 million in cap space that they'll free up them from those 4 contracts. You've got guys like Clint Capella on a $6.7 million deal that you can likely just trade for a expiring contract at the deadline if it came point in time for them to, have to free up some form of future cap space, right? There's ways that they can do it. You also have to remember too, is Fred VanVleet on a team option deal or did he re-sign on it's a player option deal? Okay. So his contract's only 2 more years left. Realistically, this offseason, they could just look to trade him as an expiring contract for maybe to a team that has cap space where they don't even get a player back in return, and that opens up the money for Cam Thomas's extension. You know what I mean? So like
KD is actually on a descending contract.
Yeah.
That also helps a lot. So I'm saying it's possible, but I'm saying if you're Houston, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to use that asset? Like maybe the Nets could, throw in a future protected first rounder or something like that to sweeten.
I would probably just give them the last Phoenix swap. Might as well, right?
But do you want to? But I feel like they would want to hold on to that to use for something else.
Probably, but I also think that's kind of what the Knicks picks and the Denver pick is for, even though I would prefer to actually keep the Denver pick out of all picks. I think the Denver pick is going to be a top 5 pick in, 2030. Fair. What is it? 2031? 2032?
2032.
Yeah, I mean that has top 5 pick written all over it. Do we really think they're going to pull another Jokic and, as like the 43rd pick of the 2028 draft or some shit? I doubt it.
I'm good on that, Gary. Go ahead.
No, that's really all I got. I wanted to get into Saraf too. I know you guys are short on time. Saraf's played 2 games now. I'm not trying to write the book on him at the 2 games, but I didn't see why they picked him when they did. Then everyone spoke highly of him, which I said was a propaganda piece to make him look good. 2 games in, I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything. What are you guys' thoughts on Saraf? It's 2 games. I'm not making a judgment on him after 2 games. I'm just saying I don't see anything in him through 2 games.
Pete, you want to go first? You want me to take this one?
I'll go first.
Okay.
He's 19 years old.
Understood, but why is he starting? Why is he?
Because Yegor's hurt. Yegor's dealing with the plantar fasciitis. I will say though, I do believe that there will be a conversation had tomorrow about whether or not Yegor is ready to start. If you looked at his minutes in Game 1 versus Game 2, he played roughly 3 minutes more in this game than he did in Game 1. So clearly the workload is being put more onto him, and I think that's showing that the plantar fasciitis issue that he was dealing with is starting to heal up better than they expected. So I would assume within the next 3 games, starting from Game 3 all the way up until Game 5, that Yegor will be in the starting lineup within those 3 games.
Keep it, by the way, we got to keep in mind, it's not fasciitis. Fasciitis
is
inflammation. Yeah, it's inflammation. Okay. He actually has a tear in the ligament. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I don't think you're wrong. Obviously, he's playing. If it was serious, I don't think he would have been playing at all. I'm kind of shocked because we know the Nets.
Yeah, they never risk anything. Safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I think this was something that he may have. I think he may have dealt with this in Summer League, and they were allowing it to heal throughout the offseason.
Would you let him play in Summer League then? That's
Well,
insane.
meaning I think the injury happens sometime in summer league or during
I agree with
practice.
you.
And if you look into plantar fascia, there's different grades to the tears. He could have just had a
Yeah.
mild one. So, hopefully that's the case. But I also think that's the reason why you're not seeing him put the ball on the floor to pull up for mid-range shots or, driving to the rim as frequently. Those are things that you're going to start seeing as he gets more comfortable and healthier. So that's why I think once you see him get implemented into the starting rotation, you're going to see a little bit more opportunity for him. And I also think people are kind of jumping the gun on what his true abilities are. If you watched him at BYU, he wasn't known to be a three-point scorer. He was known to be a drive to the rim and mid-range guy. So he has that to his game. I think that right now they just have him in a specific role. They want him to take the threes. They want him to get comfortable with that because if he can become a three-level scorer where he can give you, 18 to 23 a night 2 years from now, you're looking at your second option. So he's progressing well, and the fact that he's shot, what is he, 8 for 12 now in his first 2 games of the NBA from three? He's shooting 75%, I believe. That's a great sign for him. So I fully expect him to expand that game at the midway point of the season when his role is changed up a bit to where he gets a bit more opportunities.
Hey, Gary, with Saraf, I know you asked that before. You got to keep in mind, yes, he is 19 years old, and he's already played in leagues versus grown-ass men. I know you can see he has more poise than a couple of like the other rookies, especially when he's driving. Of course, there's going to be, growing pains, right? And the shot needs to be worked on. There's not even, a question about that. I don't think his ceiling is going to be like an all-star, but I could definitely see a nice role player there.
Could he be your sixth man for sure? I think he could definitely be the sixth man in the back point guard.
What does he do? Like, I get this all the time with fighters. Like, oh, he's got a high ring IQ. Look where he picks his. Okay, but he's not like we're talking about the highest level. What does he do well?
Yeah, but okay, so first and foremost, his IQ is off the charts. Some of the passes that he's making are incredible. Half the time, the players aren't catching them, and it results in a turnover. That's not on him. That's just the player that needs to stop putting butter on his hands. He made some really nice passes today that ended up getting picked off. But overall, he's shown flashes of being able to drive to the rim similar to Manu Ginobili, which was his comp at the time. He's showcased the ability to play make. To me, he's just a taller, potentially slightly better version than TJ McConnell. TJ McConnell is a great role player in this league.
Yeah, if he's TJ McConnell, that's a home run in my opinion. TJ McConnell's an excellent player.
And that's the thing, right? Is if that's your sixth man and your backup point guard for a couple of years, I can live with that. We can't really be expecting him to be a full-time starter and a 15.5 rebound, 5 assist type of guy a night. He was the 27th overall pick or the 26th overall pick. This isn't a guy that you're expecting to be a borderline star, an all-star. If you start showcasing flashes of that, great. But, that's really, you can't give too high of an expectation for a 26 overall pick.
I want Gary. And one last thing, and then I'll shut up. In 5 years, he will be 24 years old.
I know. I get it. I'm not, Pete, I get it. Right? I'm not saying he sucks. I'm not saying the book is written on him. They told me, and shout out to Carly here, who says TJ McCollum is extraordinary. I had the same knock on TJ when he first came in the league. I don't get it. Why does he play? What does he do well? And then you watch him enough, and he's like, okay, I get it, right? I'm hoping Saraf is the same way. I didn't really see much in TJ when he first came in the league, and everybody loved him. Like, I don't get it. And then you see what he does. I'm hoping Saraf. So I like that comp, Dylan, and I hope that's right. And if he does turn into TJ McCollum, it's a great pick at 27. That's a great pick. But I felt like I was sold a bag of goods with him. Like Michael Porter Jr. came out and said how high his IQ was, and like there was other non-net sources that were saying the same thing that were really building him up. And I'm just not. You're right. He's 19. I get it.
How are you not? But how are you not seeing it?
There's nothing like does he have good vision? Yes.
At that age, you have to keep in mind it's at that age, right?
But he doesn't have any. This is the highest level. You're not a next level athlete. You can't shoot. Like what? How are you playing?
The ability though to get to the rim. He has showcased the ability to break down a defender. He's had a couple of really good moves where he's created space. If he can develop some form of mid-range or floor spacing ability, then yeah, he's going to be a really solid player in this league. You also have to remember too, he took 2 shots today. One of them went in. He shot 50% from the field. Like when you think about that from an advanced stats metric, if he's taking 6 shots, he's making, or if he's taking 12 shots, he's making 6. So that could easily be a 12-point per game scorer if he gets a bit more volume.
All right, so you guys see upside in him? You guys
I definitely
are
see
agreeing?
upside in him. I remember looking into him a little bit at like the midway point of the college season is probably when I first started watching him. He was a guy who was projected to go top 18 before the college basketball season started. So again, there's a ton of upside in him. And remember too, how many players at 6'6" and above at the point guard position really fail? Like really look into that over the past 15 years. Lonzo Ball is like your worst case scenario.
And I love
If-
Lonzo Ball,
And
so
if
that's
Ben
not
Surratt
it's
turns
just
into
injuries,
Lonzo
yeah.
Ball, then sure. Yeah, I'll take that all day long. You know what I mean? So with his height, his skill set, the only thing that he really needs true improvement on is his overall scoring ability. But in terms of, creating space to drive into the lane and his playmaking ability, I absolutely love what I see so far.
And I guess Pete, you second that? You second what Dylan just said?
Pretty much. I don't know if I would say Lonzo Ball, but I see what Dylan is saying. I just don't think like Lonzo Ball is I don't know if it's an achievable level for him per se, but I see what Dylan's saying for sure.
Yeah, I'm not more so saying his style of play. I'm more so saying if you look at over the past over the past 15 years, what players have come into the league at 6'6" and above at the point guard position?
Oh, I get it.
there's
Good passer, good
yeah.
size,
Mhm.
can defend. I see it. I
Yeah.
definitely see it.
Yeah, there's not many players at that height, at that position with that skill set that tend to fail. And when I say fail, I mean, like Chris Dunn, who's out of the league or doesn't play on teams. Like I'm talking like the worst case scenario you can be looking at here is your backup point guard. If that's the upside on him, I'll take that all day long.
I agree.
Yeah, no, at 27, right. And when Leaf was on the other day, he said, Gary, he's picked 27. I'm like, all right, that's fair. It's not like you took him 12. You took him 27. So whatever you get, if you get a rotational player, a backup point guard, that's not a bad pick. Right? It's really not. If it's TJ McConnell, I would say it's a great pick because he's a good player for good teams. Traore, like to me, I see Traore, and I know he's raw and he's 19, and I get it. In 5 years, he's going to be 24. I would make all those arguments about Traore because I see the skill set. I see the speed. He can blow past people. Now it's just developing him into a basketball player. To me, Saraf's already a basketball player, and it's not that great, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because he lacks those natural God-given abilities that Traore has, what's his ceiling really? That was what I was looking at. You know what I'm saying? He just doesn't have the natural ability of a good NBA player.
Yeah, I see. I don't see it that way. I think I've seen some flashes where he has showcased that he can take the physicality of the NBA at 19 years old, where he can make the smart pass, extraordinary passes as well, not just your basic, dump and dish. He's making passes through the lane, through 2 defenders, behind the back high IQ passes. Like he's able to do some really nice things with the ball in his hands. So to me, like I said, I think the floor on him is a backup point guard. The ceiling on him is your 6-man. I think that's the range of which you can see him though, in that like 16 to 23 minute a night role, somewhere in that range where he can give you, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. That's a career role player right there.
Yeah.
Like we'll take that all day long off the bench on a contending team. So I see the value in him now.
Pete, you got any? I'm gonna wrap this.
I second that.
Yeah,
I second that.
Just real quick, Pete. What do you? I know he's only played one game. And he played like 3 minutes. But Traore, I'm high on Traore. What are your thoughts on Traore? I'll let you go. I'm super high on Traore.
I think you were one of the people that I told you that they were going to take him the day before the draft, or a couple of days before the draft. The Nets have loved him for a long time. I put my chips all in with Nolan Traore because I believe in that first step. I see a Spencer Dinwiddie type of player in a couple years. And I've been a little disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I've been a little disappointed. Maybe I was expecting what we're seeing from Saraf in Traore, and it sucks. he has the higher ceiling, but right now, Saraf is easily the better point guard.
I agree with that, but like to me, if you say Gary, you can only give one of these guys minutes. I'm giving Troy all the minutes because I feel like he has the upside to be an NBA starter. I don't feel that way about Saraf, right? So I'd rather roll the dice on Troy, who has he's got more ways to go. He's got to get better, but I feel like the upside in him is there because of his speed. His speed is unique, right? It's like Maxey or Tony Parker. It's like this guy's a blur, man. So I would rather go through the growing pains with Trey, I guess is what I'm saying. Than
Look, the team is already a disaster. We see the offense is already a disaster.
Yeah,
and that's with someone in Saraf who could, run the point. Nolan struggles going to his left. If you look at preseason, and I think I told you in Summer League, he didn't have a single basket like with his left hand. That is a real issue. Teams already know it. It's already on film. So you're going to throw him into that. And yeah, you are throwing him into the fire. I think you should be in the G League right now. Get your confidence up, get your shot right, and come after the trade deadline. But like you said, and I think Dylan would agree with us, the ceiling is a lot higher for Nolan.
I'm not a fan of sending him to the G League because I don't think you're going to take your lumps. He's going to go in the G League. He's going to blow past people. And he's going to score 20 a night, and it's going to give him a false confidence. Go in the NBA, get your shit stuffed in, and learn from that. Right? Learn from being the worst player on the court, not the best player on the court.
But you get shot confidence in the G League. That's true. That's true.
That's
the key.
The thing that I see with Traore, and again, this is. I'm not right about everything by all means necessary. I'm not going to ever say that. But last year specifically was the first year that I really covered the draft and did my own research. I mean, I probably looked into about 70 to 75 different players in that year's draft class. Traore to me reminds me a lot of a mixture between like Lonzo Ball and Andrew Nembhard, both of which have really quick first steps, both of which have really tight handles, both of which have the ability to finish at the rim. Lonzo Ball came into the league with one of the worst jumpers in basketball. Andrew Nembhard came into the league as a sub 33% three-point shooter. To me, if he can get into that 35 to 38% from three range with the ability that he has finishing at the rim with his speed and perimeter defense, I think that's the type of player that you could see from him. So again, it's really just a battle between Traore and Saraf to see who is going to be the true backup point guard to this team long term. Again, 19th overall pick. You're not expecting greatness, but could he be the perfect sixth man? By all means, yes. And I think the ceiling on him is pretty high with what he was previously comped at and what his previous projection was before the college basketball season last year. He was projected to be the fifth overall pick. Many experts saying that he could be in competition with Dylan Harper for the third overall pick at the time. This is a guy who still has tremendous upside. So I really think if he can develop a shot, put on a little bit of weight to where he's not getting thrown off balance as easily with the ball in his hands, and if he can somehow just develop some form of mid-range shot when he blows by a defender, I think you're looking at Andrew Nembhard.
Again, Nembhard's a very good player, just like TJ McConnell. He's a very good player on a very good team. Yeah, no, but if you told me on draft day when they took him 19 that you're drafting Nembhard, you'd be thrilled with that, right? I mean, that's a really good pick. So
100%. I mean, that's kind of like saying taking Drake Powell at 22. When we originally took him, we were all like, why the hell would we take him there? We have a second round pick that we can probably grab him at. But when you look at his ability and his style of play, he looks like Herb Jones and a mixture of Trey Murphy, right? He may not have the offensive ability of Trey Murphy, but he has the length and the athleticism of Trey Murphy, while he has the defensive ability of Herb Jones. If you're taking that at 22, then by all means, that's a great pick. Trey Murphy and Herb Jones are the second and fifth options on the Pelicans. If he can find his way to be a third or fourth option in Brooklyn, then that's great. To me, I think Powell could definitely be like a fourth option long-term player where he's kind of in that Herb Jones role. But again, sky's the limit with him. A previous projected lottery pick before the college basketball season started last year. The scheme of this draft is much more clearer now than when it was on draft night. Yegor Demon was projected top 5 for the first month and a half of the college basketball season. Traore was projected top 5 before the college basketball season started. Saraf was projected top 18 Powell was projected lottery. Clearly, they took players who had upside, who either A, weren't in the right systems, specifically Powell with UNC, or B, took players with high upside that were already playing overseas and have professional experience. I think the vision there is very clear.
Oh, I did have one more question. I meant to ask this way earlier, but I totally forgot. I not to change subjects 180 degrees, but I did want to get this in before I let you go. Noah Clowney, a guy I'm super high on, has shown nothing through 2 games. Is this reason for concern, or it's 2 games and we don't even know what our offense looks like? But he's shown nothing.
I think it's bad rotations.
Yeah.
To me, they've got to get Yegor and Zaire in the starting lineup. I think you've got to drop Terrence Mann into the bench unit with Saraf. If you can open up your bench unit with Saraf, Powell, Mann, Clowney, and Sharp, I think that's going to be a bit better for him. When you have Clowney coming off the bench with, not many people at Tyrese Martin's, it's not really going to help you out. So I think they've got to fix up the rotations a bit. I think they're kind of just waiting to see once Yegor is ready, and then they'll start making their moves that way.
Yeah.
But also, while we're on the topic of Zaire, not to go completely off topic, but if he keeps performing in a similar sense of the way that he is, you're kind of being put in a position where you have to trade him. He's making $6 million. The way that he's playing, a contender may give up a protected first or a shit ton of seconds. Like, you may have to just flip him for value, which is something that I had mentioned earlier in the summer that could happen this year. So I would keep an eye on that, because I think his name's going to start flying in rumors here shortly.
We talked about that a lot in the offseason, where as a rotational guy, as a bench piece, he gives you everything you want on a good team as a bench player. His defensive intensity, his ability to shoot the 3, defend multiple, like, he gives a good team. He's probably not going to start on a good team, but he's going to have significant minutes on any good team because of what he offers you. I think, it would be foolish not to look to trade him unless you think you can keep him long term and he's something you can build with, because he's still very young.
I think he's the perfect role player long term for you, right? He's what, 20? Yeah. Is he 24 still, or is he 25?
I think he's want to say he's 24.
Like, this is still a player who's not even in the prime of his career yet. Like, to me, he is the perfect role player to have long term. My only worry is if he's playing 24. This well now on that deal that he's currently on, there's going to be a team out there that will pay for that. Like, say it is Houston again, right? The contract between Zaire and Tari Eason match up perfectly, right? Give us our first back. You get your first back in a couple of seconds. Like, whatever it may be, his value is going to be there to where he can get you some form of positive net value. So it would be tough to see him go, but if he gets you a good package in return, by all means, I would definitely be open to it, especially because we're not contending this year and probably next year. Next year's goal is probably play-in tournament. So, if his value is to the point where you can get a little bit more than what you would usually get for him, I'd be interested in it. It would suck to see him leave because I really like him, but I'd be open to it. We're rebuilding. You got to do what you got to do.
Pete, just real quick, your thoughts on Zaire and also what we've seen so far at Clowney. Is that reason for concern?
Well, we could skip. We'll skip Zaire because I know I can tell you're tired. You want to go, but
no. I want you to cook on this.
I'm good. We don't got to cook on him. I like Zaire a lot. I met him when I went to Charlotte. He's a very nice guy, and obviously, I thought he should have been probably starting over Mann, but I don't know if you remember we talked about that. I don't understand Mann. I could understand, he comes in and whatnot. I was shocked that Jordy started Mann over him, over Zaire Williams. I thought that Zaire was more of one of Jordy's favorites. He's improved the shooting. And that's what we've always said. If he can improve his shooting, this guy's a player. Looks like the Nets might have a nice little player over here. But I'll be very quickly with Noah Clowney. Yeah. But that's why Memphis got rid of him, right? Memphis gave up on him. There's a reason why we got him. With Noah Clowney, he's 21 years old right now. If you guys remember, the first 3 preseason games, he was shooting like 60%, didn't miss a 3. Then we go to Toronto, and I think he was like 0-5, 0-6, something like that. Look at his stats tonight. I don't think they were that bad. 20 minutes. What was he, like 2 of 4, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Like, that's not – I don't think it's horrible. The turnovers hurt, obviously, but he's still 21 and he's starting to get into his shape. I think he should be starting.
I 100% agree. It's politics, though. We all know this. Sports is politics.
Absolutely.
If you make more money, you're going to get more minutes. And I think the main reason why, too, is they're trying to get some form of value raised on man, and it's just not working. We're probably going to have to sell him for pennies on the dollar and take back another bad contract for him. But regardless, I still think Zaire should be starting. Like I said, I think Yegor, Cam Thomas, Zaire, MPJ, and Claxton should be the starting five. And then you work the rotation from there.
All right, guys, I'm gonna close it out. Pete, you want to plug your channel one more time? Let everyone know what you got going on.
Yeah, I'll be quick. You guys can follow me on Twitter and YouTube. Net fans, I just dropped an episode with Tim Capstraw, Nets legend. He does the radio games. I'm sure everybody knows that by now. And do me a favor, check out that video. If you like it, leave a like.
All right, guys. Dylan, we'll check your schedule back Sunday, Monday. What works? When are we gonna be back?
I'm free Sunday, so if we want to go live for if you want to do a live reaction to the game Sunday, I'm down. I think the game's at 2:00. If not, we can do a post game for it.
All right, let's we'll text. That might work. 2:00. Yeah, that might work. Let me text. We'll text. We'll let you know, but we'll definitely be live on Sunday.
Sounds good.
Pete, if you're around, of course, you're more than welcome.
Nope, I hate you guys.
All right, All right, y'all. It's October 24th, 2025. From Texas to the world. Thank y'all, and God bless.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks for jumping on with us.
Pleasure,
Pete.
my man.